you know, go check those out. And like, this is kind of how you can build something like that. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, we're good.
What is up, Hostile family? I am back. It's arm day. I'm excited to bring you guys a good arm session here. But before we get into that, I really want to kind of touch base on regards to today, which you won't see this until later, which is fine. But we're actually releasing the Stack series from Hostile today. So it's a big day for us, you know, something that, you know, Phil has been working on for a while. And I just wanted to cover this with you to kind of give you a better understanding of what it is. We are releasing 7 new products today. I need to look at them real quick and write them down. So it's the cluster dextrin as a standalone, a glutamine, beta-alanine, creatine, Pico 2, pure calf, organic caffeine, and citrulline. So what these are is they're all standalone ingredients. So they're just a single product. So like when you have like the intra here, what that is, you know, it's made up, it has EAAs, BCAAs in it, has cluster dextrin in it, it has, you know, hydration factor in it with some sea salt. So that's all, you know, it's an all-in-one product. What these are going to be is more standalone, so if you just want to use one of those products by themselves, you can get that now from Hostile and have those. But for now, what I'm doing today, just showing you now, it's a pump day, so we're doing arms, and I've touched on this before, and I'm actually going to show you both reasons why. So today I'm going to do a blood shot, so I have it right here. We're going to do 2 scoops of blood shot for pre-workout because, like I said, when in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, it's a pump day. You know, for me, anything push, so like a, you know, chest, shoulders, or arms, and then I also call them quads as well, is a push day for me. And a pull day is going to be more of your backside, so your hamstring day, your back day, you know, things like that. So on those days, I use the Hostility because I'm not, for me, you know, I don't want to get too pumped on the backside because then that can lead to low back pumps. You get uncomfortable. So I actually use more of the Hostility, the stem pre-workout on the hamstrings and back day, and then the blood shot for all the push. Like I said, the arms, the chest, the shoulders, the quads. So today is a push. We're going with the blood shot. And of course, you know, like I said, my continued favorite product is the Intra-RT because it just has everything in it, all in one access. So I did 2.5 scoops of that, which is 50 grams of carbs, and then all the EAAs, BCAAs you need. So, like I said, with these new supplements come out, I can even put more cluster dextrin in there. So it's kind of really cool because you can do what you want, and we're going to have everything now. And I know he's going to continue to bring out new products, and I'm excited for that. But for now, I'm going to go teach you guys how I like to do arms and get these babies up to 22 inches. Let's go. All right, man, so we're getting started here on some arms. All right, so first things first is I like to always start with something, you know, usually cable related, or something overall that's going to be less, you know, less force on your joints. So these first couple of movements should be all about warming up the muscle, you know, driving blood into the triceps, driving blood into the biceps, and warming up your joints in the process as well. Like, so don't come in the gym, don't go straight to the skull crusher, don't go straight to, you know, standing heavy barbell curls. You need to get things moving, you need to get the blood flowing, you need to get, you know, injury prevention going, a little bit of a pre-exhaustion before you get into the big things. So I always start with some kind of cable movements. Today I'm going to do just a single arm tricep extension, so just straight down. You can use a rope, you can either just grab Hero. What I have is these cool little, I don't know, IPR fitness thing, and it just works for different variations, but I just put my hand in here. The main key is keep this arm pinned to your side so there's no movement here. It's just straight down to your tricep. So here. So I'm just going to hit focused reps here to warm up the triceps overall and get them working. Yep. Damn. This is what we call cookie pump. When you start eating too many cookies the night before your arm day. All right, so we just finished the single arm push downs there with the cables. Now I'm gonna go into, so trying to explain, you know, on arm day specifically, I kind of just go with the flow. And I say this in a certain way. It's like, you know, I can either go tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, you know, or you can do tricep, tricep, bicep, bicep, tricep, tricep, bicep, bicep, or you can just do all triceps first and biceps. So what I like to do is I kind of go with the feel of things. So right now, you know, my triceps feel really pretty exhausted. So I'm gonna go right into another one. I know we haven't hit biceps yet, but I almost want to kind of like completely wipe out my triceps to like failure point that I can't do anymore. And then we'll go to biceps and do 2 exercises. And then by that time, you can come back and your triceps are recovered. So there's no rhyme or reason. It's I just kind of, on arm day specifically, I just kind of go with the feel of things. And like I said, my goal is to completely wipe out one side and then come back and wipe out the other side. So our exhaustive triceps now, and we'll come back and do biceps. But for right now, we're gonna do some cable crosses. I really like this one. So I'm gonna just be crossing my arms with the cables and just pin it down. So this stays the same here. You're not moving this, it's fixed. You're just moving at the elbow joint and pinning through your tricep. Yes, sir. That's good. Time to go to biceps. All right, so we're getting into our first bicep now. So like I said, I wanted to pre-exhaust and just wipe out our triceps. So that's what we did in the first 2 exercises. Now I'm gonna go straight into the 2 bicep exercises. What this one is like, this has been one of my favorites lately, just because I'm getting the most connection with it, the most, you know, pure just isolation of the bicep head. So I like to do this one first with the cables. So again, warming up the arms first before we get into the heavier stuff, and just being smart there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these prime CAS handles, I think they're called, because I feel like they just load the bicep better, because you're more focused about just the curling motion of your bicep and load it that way. You don't have to use these. So like I said, here's just an example. You can just use normal handles if you need to from your gym. Those aren't required, but if you do have these access to these, I advise you use these because these are awesome. But if you need to use this, what am I doing is I'm actually putting my back into this. So whenever you can get something back supported, what this is for is so you don't swing. So we're not using any body momentum. We're staying like a statue, and our arms stay fixed. So as you see, my arms aren't going this way at all. It's just locked in, curl through, locked in, curl through. So we're trying to minimize all the movements of the body, of the shoulders, of anything else besides the intended muscle, which is the bicep head. So make sure you're focused on just hitting the muscle we're intended to use, and this setup really does that for you. Let's get it. It burns so good. All right, moving into our second bicep movement, so straight away. So right after we came over from those cables, standing up curls, now we're gonna go into like a preacher machine here. So we recently got this machine, the Cybex Preacher Curl Pin Loaded. I really, really like this. Like I said, keeping those elbows high, focused on just hitting that top bicep head, working on the peaks here, working on the peaks. So I'm gonna work up pretty heavy here, so we're gonna this be more of a, you know, basic working up pyramid style. And then I'll show you a cool variation at the end on this kind of machine. So I think everybody pretty much has something like this, so I wanted to use this and show you a good exercise sequence for it. And make sure you're focused on that contraction at the top, squeezing and controlling it back through. All right, so we're hitting another back off variation here at the end. So I went up to a top set as heavy as I could, you know, with controlled reps. As you see, you know, I'm not letting my shoulders come into it. I'm trying to separate my body, my shoulders from anything from curling the weight. So what I was doing was staying locked in, making sure only my bicep was doing it. So now I'm gonna go lighter. I backed it off down, and I'm gonna do some 1.5s here. So like I said, we've covered this in the leg day before, but with the 1.5s, I'm gonna do a full wrap up, half down, back up, full down. So you're full, half, back up, down, full rep, okay? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do as many as I can. This is a time under tension set. Just trying to keep on pumping through that top of that bicep head and get as many as we can until failure. Yep. 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 That was a burn. Holy shit. All right, so we got the 2 biceps done. So now we are 2 triceps in, 2 biceps in, feeling great. So arms are nice and pumped. So now is when I'm gonna get more into kind of the heavier movements, more compound movements that are a little bit more stress on the elbows. But we're warmed up now, we feel good. So now we can kind of push it a little bit more here. What I'm gonna do here, so this is probably something you guys have never seen. I posted this last week on my Instagram and it got mad response. Like everyone wanted to try this, everything, you know, they never seen it before. So I'm actually gonna bring it to video here and show you guys how to do this. So it's a skull crusher variation. So it's a type of skull crusher. Everyone's done the traditional skull crushers. I'm gonna do it on a Smith machine while holding these straps. What I found it does is by holding the straps and fully letting it lengthen behind your head, it isolates the triceps so much more because it's almost a balancing aspect too through the handles. So all you're doing is just controlling it through the handle, through the bottom, getting a good stretch, and then just extending through the top. And the good thing about the Smith is it keeps it in the vertical plane. So up and down, so you don't have to worry about balance back and forward. It's just up and down. All you're doing is just driving through your triceps. So it's a nasty way to just fully isolate the triceps. The only thing is you do need a partner on this one to prevent this thing from turning and clicking. So I'm gonna have a partner here that's just gonna hold this. He's not actually helping me. All he is he's just turning the bar so that it has a free range of motion here.
Yep, it's got it. Come on.
Oh, that'll do it. All right, so these skull crushers here, worked up to 3 tough sets there. Now I want to kind of do something. I just feel that the blood is pooled. The blood is pooled in the triceps here. So I'm gonna do some kind of stretch variation here. So I'm gonna slow this down. So I went lighter weight, I put 25s on. And I'm gonna do like a 3 count, second count down, pause it in the bottom, and then back through. So you wanna stretch the muscle as much as you're contracting it, especially towards the end when it's just full of blood. So make sure you're doing some variations there to really, you know, push that blood in and then stretch it out as well. Oh yeah. Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh, here we go.
Come on. Finish it.
Yep. Lord. Yep. Good. Ah. Hell yeah. Awesome. That was beautiful. Thank you, man. All right, going into our final tricep here. So just got done with those skull crushers. I want to go, like I said, I like to go bang bang on the triceps, so we're going right into another one. This is, so we haven't done anything overhead yet, a variation. So like a stretch overhead with an extension. So I'm gonna do one of my favorites here to finish. So it's just a seated cable tricep overhead extension with a rope. So as you see, I'll set it up here. I'm just gonna reach over my head, arms are fixed, and I'm just extending through my triceps. So this sets it up that you can't, no body swings, that's why I like being seated. I'm gonna just Foley your arms, and it's something really good to do at the end because you're stretching out all that pooled up blood. And then you can really finish it off here going heavy as you want. Yep. Oh. Yep. Oop. 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 Oh shit. Oh shit. Yep. Oop. Oop. Yep. Whew. All right, so what I just did there, forgot to talk about it before, I'll talk right now. I did what I call it as a stretch pause. I kind of invented this myself because I used to do a lot of rest pauses. So that's when you do a certain amount of reps, you pause and rest for 15 seconds, going back to those reps, rest for 15 seconds, then finish. So like 3 rounds of that. What I do is I call it a stretch pause, because instead of resting, you stretch. So if you see what I did there is I did 10, I stretched for 10 seconds, I went failure, I stretched for 10 seconds, and then I went failure. So this is just a great way to go past your failure by giving it a little bit of a break, but we're doing a stretching and stretching out the muscle to make it harder, and then you finish it out. So you gotta go quite much lighter there. That's one of the nastiest finishers you can do. And my triceps are done right now. I can't do anymore. So we're gonna finish with biceps and call it, wrap it up. All right, so getting to our last bicep here. So this has been one of my favorites lately. I usually either do it first in the workout or last in the workout because it's more of a volume exercise and a lot more pump. So it gets pretty brutal that you get so much pump that you just want to let go. But this one's pretty nasty in regards to what we are trying to do is we're trying to mimic a bodybuilding movement. So when you're training, if you're a competitor, you don't have to be a competitor obviously, but when you're training, one of the main things you should be thinking about is always how does your training apply to your bodybuilding self on stage. So what are these exercises doing so you can show those muscles in your competitions, in your posing, you know, what we're all working for. So what this one does is it mimics a front double bicep. So this is kind of like, it mimics a front double bicep movement, and I set myself up with my elbows forward, that it looks exactly like the front double bicep. So how I do this, I think they're called Hercules curls officially. I just call them, you know, seated cable curls like this, but I like to do it seated first off. Again, so we're not moving the body, we're stationary, we can't move. The only thing moving is just our bicep heads, the curl in our wrist. So we're seated, we're in the middle, we're expanding, we curl, and I'm aiming for right behind my ear. So like I said, elbows forward, so your lats are flared, and you're aiming right behind your ear for full contraction. And then what I do is I squeeze for a second and release. I'm gonna work my way up here, do a nasty variation at the end. But overall, I love this thing because it applies to what we do on stage, and you can feel the muscles working. And then when you're hitting those poses, you know exactly what you're doing. Yep. 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 Up. 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 Yes, sir. Damn. Woo. All right, so finishing the day here. So last thing here, we're gonna finish our Hercules curls, I call them, with the cables. I'm smoked on, we went up to 60 on the pins, but that was really, really tough. And I wasn't getting full contractions there, so I want to back off now. As you guys have seen, like, as you've noticed with my arms, what I do a lot of is I'll go up to a heavy set and then I'll do a back off. So I think with arms, what I've seen with more growth is a lot more higher volume sets and a lot more concentrated squeezes and contractions and time under tension with arms. So what I'm gonna do here to finish, like I've been doing every set or every exercise, I'm gonna do a squeeze set here. So I'm gonna fully contract, hold the squeeze for 2 seconds, release slow. So slow it down, make sure we're using the muscles, tear down those muscle fibers, and let's finish this off, then we'll go recover. Yep. Yep. Oh. Up. Up. Ah. Up. Up. Oh. All right, fam, that's a wrap on arm day. I've just this off season was when I've been doing a lot more just traditional arm days. I usually add them on, like a push pull or something like that. But with focusing on bringing up the arms a little bit this off season, I've really been drilling them with like what you guys just saw. Still high intensity, higher volume. I'm not being stupid with weights. Like I said, we're trying to work the muscles, the bicep and tricep specifically. I don't want to get into my joints. We're not trying to stretch out the ligaments on like way too heavy skull crushers, things like that. So strategically, placing the weight where it needs to be. And these exercises today really shows you. If you give these a try and execute them as I say, you'll certainly feel it. So make sure you're paying attention to the detail. That's what arm training's all about. I've learned like you can't just go in there and throw weight around, especially with arms. You gotta be very specific in what you're doing. So slow it down, know what you're doing, know what you're working, and just have fun with it. So we had a good time today. I hope I showed you some new exercises you've never seen and you can use in your own training. So I'll continue to do that for you guys and had a blast. So I'm gonna wrap up here. What I'm drinking is, like I said, I always throw some Silo 9 in here at the very end with some water, just a rush of EAAs right after the workout. And then what I'll do today, my current post-workout meal, I gotta go grab the protein, but what I do is the ISO H1, so HOSSTILE is protein. I put a little bit of Fairlife milk, it's like a lactose-free milk, and then I'll mix that up as a shake, so I'll do 2.5 scoops of protein, I'll make a shake out of it with the milk, and then I'll pour it over my cereal. So right now with me just trying, I woke up this morning at 275, I have a goal of getting over 280 in the next 3 weeks, so I'm really pushing food right now. So like this post-workout meal is all about getting a lot of carbs and protein in right away that digest very quickly. So this Rice Krispie cereal, it's still rice based, it digests easily. And mainly I can just get a shit ton of carbs in one sitting. So no one can, you can never not eat enough cereal. It's pretty easy. So if you're trying to look, trying to gain some weight, that's what that's a very good, post-workout meal to do. So cereal, ISO H1, a little bit of milk. You don't have to use milk. You can use water if you want. You can try it. And then, like I said, get that in quick and then get it onto your whole food meals the rest of the day. So that's it for today. I'm going to continue to bring you this fun stuff, man. Like, I know that, like, this gives you some good ideas, especially in your own training. Also applying how I'm gonna apply the HOSSTILE. And next time I'll have the stack series and show you how I'm gonna, use this new stack series in my training and how it can benefit you as well. Till next time, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you comment below on what more you want to see from me personally. I got a lot of good ideas coming. We're going shopping tonight, and you'll see that one as well. But let us know in the bottom. Make sure you like, subscribe to this channel because I'm gonna keep coming on here. And have yourself a great day.